Welcome everyone to episode 4 of the Good Things Are Brewing podcast. I am super excited to have my friend Joe with me, who I met through our Full Focus Certified Pro program, which we'll tell you more about. But first, I will let Joe introduce himself. So I'll hand it over to you, Joe.
Great. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. And I'm excited to be here and share a little bit about myself and talk about some of the things that we are planning on talking about today. So I am Joe McGarry. I am a Lutheran pastor, part of the ELCA, but I also am a coach. The last couple of years, I have taken some training in becoming a certified coach, the International Coaching Federation, which is why I was interested in the Full Focus Planner, just adding tools to my tool belt. So I have absolutely loved meeting people through this community and sharing what I can of some of my gifts and skills and talents in what I bring to the world.
Awesome. Joe, will you tell us a little bit about where you're located, about your family, about your life, your hobbies, other things that you do outside of business too?
Sure. I am a native New Englander. So I live in central Connecticut currently. Grew up in Vermont, lived in Massachusetts for a while, so very familiar with the New England area. I am married and have 2 children, an 18-year-old and a 15-year-old. And they bring a lot of joy into my life. We also have basically a barn here at our house in Connecticut. We have a dog, 2 cats, 2 guinea pigs, and we have had a horse. My youngest child, AJ, loves horseback riding. The horse, unfortunately, we no longer have, but they still love horseback riding and everything to do with that. I'm a musician. I was actually a music major in college. The tuba was my instrument of choice. And so, but over the years, I have played guitar and trombone and piano and just a bunch of different instruments. So I absolutely love music. Behind me, I have a ukulele and a guitar hanging up on my wall as sort of a background, but I do use them. They're not just for show. And my church at the end of this month is hosting a 1-day ukulele camp. So we are inviting kids to come and adults who want to learn how to play the ukulele. And at the end of the day, we're going to have a little concert for families and that sort of thing. So it's going to be a pretty fun time. But yeah, I absolutely love music, and it's a huge part of my life.
Awesome. That is so cool. Thank you so much, Joe. First of all, I love that you are so talented at things that I am not talented at. Like a music brain is so impressive to me. So I'm very impressed by that. Joe and I met through this Full Focus Planner Certified Pro thing. So I'm not sure, I probably haven't introduced the Full Focus Planner concept to everyone who listens to the podcast. So let me cover that really briefly so they've got a little bit of background. And then I want to kind of say one more thing about how we met, but there is I don't even have mine sitting right here because it's in the other room.
Oh my goodness. It's not with you 24/7.
It's this whole shelf of examples. It usually is with me. That's why it's in the other room. So picture a booklet, like a notebook, basically a fancy notebook. Joe, do you have yours right there to hold up?
I do.
Aha. So a really lovely notebook. Oh, do you have the Pro, the bigger one?
I have the
portfolio.
I'm sorry, the
portfolio. Yeah. I said the wrong name. Yes, the portfolio. Yeah. So Joe's is a little bigger than mine. Mine's a little smaller than that. And mine has a coil on the side. So there's a couple different styles, but what's really awesome about this planner is what's on the pages inside of it, and that there's a whole system that goes along with that that's built for goal setting and productivity and to help you reach your goals. And I've been using this Full Focus Planner and the system that goes with it since about 2018. And Joe probably about the same time, right? I can't remember.
Yep.
And we had the opportunity. So the creator of the Full Focus Planner is a man named Michael Hyatt, and he owns a company that's all about all this stuff. And he writes awesome books, which is Moose is back there shaking. This whole shelf is all of his awesome books, and these are all the planners. But awesome books, awesome webinars, great learning opportunities. I've loved learning from Michael Hyatt over the years. And this past winter in December, they announced an opportunity to become what's called a certified pro. So that's the opportunity that Joe and I stepped into. We didn't know each other before that, but with a group of other people decided to become certified pros, which means that we are prepared to and certified to train and coach other people on how to fully maximize the full focus system in their own lives. So it's really cool because all of these coaches in this group all have different backgrounds. And so it's really fascinating to see how people are applying the concepts of the planner and the goal setting system to their own work or their own lives. And so I work a lot with homeschool moms, work from home people, those in direct selling. Joe is working with people in ministry, people starting their own businesses as well. And maybe you could talk more in a minute, Joe, about like other types of people that you work with. I'm sure we'll cover that, but it's cool. I've met people who work with lawyers and it's real teachers. It's really fun to meet these people in all these different areas, but who are all connected through the system that we use to kind of organize our lives. And so Joe and I connected, and I feel like our real connection point, Joe, is that Joe is also a camp person. So everyone who listens to my podcast knows that I live at camp and I live a camp life. And so Joe has some experience in camp and ministry as well. And so you mentioning the ukulele camp coming up where kids are going to come and learn the ukulele for the day, that makes my heart sing, even though I'm not a singer. That's great. Because that's where it's at. That's where I'm like, Joe's my guy. So it's been great to get to know you, Joe, and the other certified pros as well. That's some background on Full Focus. Anything you want to add that I missed about like Full Focus in general before we talk about our tea?
No, yeah, it's really literally changed my life, and I haven't always been good about it. Like I said, you said I've been using it since 2018, and I actually found an old vlog post of when I received my very first Full Focus planner, and I did a little review. And looking at it, it was terrible. I mean, this was before I really did a lot of vlogging or video work and that sort of thing. But it was fun to go back and look at it and see how I've been using it since then, times that I've been really into it and times when I've just it's been there kind of nagging at me like, use me. But the times that I do use it, I get so much done. And so I'm so happy about that because it really helps me move my life forward.
Yeah. I love it. Also, you all can, if you're watching the video version of the podcast, you can see that Joe is a professional podcaster. He's got his microphone, he's got his headphones on. He's the real deal, you guys. I am over here with my computer and cheap ring light off Amazon and thinking I'm living the dream, but no, Joe's
living the podcast dream.
Oh, exactly. So we wanted to bring to you all today a topic from the Full Focus system. So bonus free training for you all right now, just to hear me and Joe chatting. So we are going to be talking about the goal setting framework that is part of the Full Focus system. But before we do that, we need to talk about what we're sipping today, because the theme of the podcast is good things are brewing, because we love our good coffee and tea, but we also love great conversation among friends over it, and also when good things are brewing in your life. And goal setting is a great way to be brewing excellent outcomes in your life. So Joe gave me a challenge. He said, I only drink decaf. So I am super excited that I had something to send to him. We are sipping, and I didn't bring the little pack. I always forget to bring the packet to show as well. But I'll put the link in the description so you all can find it. We are sipping on Java Mama's vanilla chai tea. So we've got a tea instead of a coffee today, vanilla chai tea. And it was hot, but now we've talked forever, so it's probably we should throw some ice in it and make it an iced tea at this point. But this is great. This is one of my favorite teas. What did you think, Joe?
It's great. Yeah, I love tea. I can't have caffeine, so it's great to have something that's caffeine free that I enjoy in the morning. I do enjoy a hot drink in the morning, and I've tried a bunch of different things. And but the flavor of this tea is great, but the smell is even better. Like I was saying earlier, I don't want to drink it because I just want to smell it all day. If they had a candle of this scent, that would be great.
Yes. It would
be. But
yeah,
I didn't even have to add. Yeah, I didn't even have to add anything else to the tea. Usually I like to, kind of dress it up with some sweetener of some sort. But yeah, it's great on its own. I would, put it in my little handy dandy tea prep kit and soaked it for a while. And yeah, it's absolutely fabulous.
Nice. Oh, I'm so glad you liked it. I use, for this particular tea, for most teas, I use a reusable infuser, but for this particular tea, the pieces are really teeny tiny. So I use like a paper tea filter, which looks a little weird now on the video, but it keeps everything, inside there. So what I'll do is I leave this sitting in the discard mug on my desk or on the kitchen counter all day, because I do just kind of smell it as I walk by.
Yeah.
So it's the next best thing to having a candle. But yeah, I love that this has like the warm spices in it. So it's got ginger and cinnamon, cloves, cardamom, orange, and a vanilla flavor. So it's got all those it's almost like a warm winter sitting by the fireplace kind of.
It definitely is. Yeah.
Flavor to it. Yeah. I love this one. And I love that it's caffeine free. So you can have it right before bed. Even if you're no caffeine all the time, then it's a great option. But even for me, I drink caffeine in the mornings, but I skip it at night. And so it's a really soothing before bed tea too, even though we're having it in the morning today. So awesome. I'm glad that you liked it. I'm glad that it arrived safely through the mail.
It did. The
Thanks,
box is a little beat up, but I also love the mug too. The mug is great. Good things are brewing. I absolutely love that idea of just positivity, and there's definitely some other meanings, not only brewing in the coffee sense, but brewing in our lives and what's happening. That good things are happening all around us, and to have that. For me in the morning in a mug of thinking, starting out my day with positivity is great.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Love that. And I love that it goes right hand in hand with our topic for today to talk about the goal setting framework with full focus. And because that's a part of it. That's if you want a good cup of coffee, you start with good beans, right? And clean water. And it's the same thing, or tea, you start with really good ingredients. And I feel like that's what it's like in our lives too. If you want a certain outcome, you've got to get the right things put into the recipe to get out what you want to get out. And that's kind of what this goal setting structure is all about. So Joe, I'm used to teaching this stuff, but I'm going to let you teach a little bit today, which I'm excited about. So would you give an overview of the goal setting framework? It's an acronym called S.M.A.R.T.E.R. Can you give for our listeners just an overview of what that framework is and what it means?
Yes, definitely. So The S.M.A.R.T.E.R framework is kind of built off of what many people might know of the S.M.A.R.T.E framework. For a very long time, I was always told that you need to make SMART goals, and I'll talk about that during this, but Michael Hyatt kind of changed a little bit and added on to it, which I absolutely love and think it just totally makes sense to me. So the very first letter is S, and that is for a specific goal. And we want specific goals. We don't just want to say, hey, this year I'm going to be growing as a person, or I'm going to gain new skills, or I'm going to lose weight. You want to have your goal specific so you can have in your head, what does that mean? So instead of saying, I want to grow as a person, maybe you say, I'm going to begin volunteering at the local homeless shelter, or instead of saying, I want to lose weight this year, I want to lose 25 pounds. And that is more specific. So you have an idea of what that looks like in your head. The M in S.M.A.R.T.E.R is measurable. So you want to be able to measure what your goal is going to be. You have certain criteria so that you can achieve success. You want to be able to track what you are doing. You want to be able to set markers and milestones while you are going through the year. So again, if you want to say, I want to lose weight, you want to be specific by saying, I want to lose 25 pounds. And that is a way that you are going to measure it. So when you step on the scale, you can see that, okay, I am losing weight. I'm losing 2 pounds. I'm on my way to 25 pounds. And so that is something that you can measure. The A in S.M.A.R.T.E.R goals is actionable. So you want to have your goals to create action. And one of the things that I think about in this goal is, when I write my goals, I want to have an action word as the first word. And for me, even when I think about something that I want to do, that first word really, really matters. Because, I'll talk about my goals in a little bit, 2 of them that I have for this quarter. But when you say lose, or grow, or run, or finish, or eliminate, those are the words that really stick with you. Even if you don't think about the rest of the goal, those words really mean something and help you move forward in what you are going to do. So that first word needs to be an action word, needs to tie into what your goal is. And that, for me anyway, really helps me be clear about what my call to action is. R is risky. So that is a little different than the SMART goals. So that when I learned the SMART goals, the R was realistic, but Michael Hyatt's version is risky, which is brilliant in my mind, because it's easy for us not to push ourselves. It's easy for us to kind of sit back and say, okay, this goal is going to be realistic. If I, set a goal that I want to earn $5,000 more than I did last year. And I think, well, that's going to be easy. If I do step 1, step 2, step 3, and that, I'll probably have that done by June. Well, that's not really a risky goal. So you want to think a little bit more of, okay, how am I going to push myself? Because if we're not pushing ourselves, then we're not really moving forward. If I look at my goal and I am a little bit of afraid that, am I really going to be able to accomplish this? Then I know that I'm going in the right direction of what my goal is going to be. Not to say that we're setting impossible goals, but we're setting goals that are pushing us to do certain things that we may not do. And again, the goal that I'm going to share with you for the second quarter for me is a little risky, something that I have never done before. It makes me a little uncomfortable. I've been working hard on it, and I feel it's time to kind of put it out there in the world. So I am excited about that. I'm excited about the possibilities that it may bring for me, and it's going to be good. So the T is Timebound. So that is setting a deadline. And if anybody is like me, that's sometimes the only way I get to do things is by setting a deadline and going up to the very last minute of certain things. But, you know, some of the goals that you do set, since they are risky, can't be completed at the last minute. So that helps me continue to move on. But say, again, one of your goals is to work out more. And so you can say, I'm going to go. So go would be your action word, right? Go to the gym 3 times a week. That seems to be like a good goal, but you can add in the time bound. So go to the gym 3 times per week, beginning January 30th. So you have an opportunity to kind of work up, and you know that, okay, this is when I'm going to start. And so maybe the first 3 weeks in January, I am going to the gym 1 time a week, then 2 times a week. But by the 30th, I'm going 3 times a week. So you have you are able to work up to it. And you can accomplish it knowing, you know, what is the time bound. Or, you know, say financially, you want to have an emergency fund set up. I'm going to save $1,000 for an emergency fund by June 30th. So that, again, okay, I'm going to do this by this date. It doesn't have to always be starting this date. It could be by this date. And you have a certain, you are saving. So that's your action word. And you know what it's going to be specific. It's going to be measurable. I'm going to save $1,000 for my emergency fund by this date. So that kind of falls into this framework.
This is great, Joe, hearing those examples from you, because some of those examples, I have never thought about it quite that way, of like giving yourself a deadline where you could build up to it. That's really a cool concept. If your goal is to go to the gym 3 times a week, starting out right off the bat 3 times a week might feel overwhelming. So giving yourself that time to build up and have that incremental progress, and setting yourself that date as like a milestone to be like, here's where I'm really jumping into where I want to be. Another way that and I'm sorry if I'm jumping in and you're about to share something about this, but something else that I like when you're looking at habit goals is to put an actual time on something. Like at 3 o'clock every day, I'm going to read for 20 minutes in my book, because there's this concept of habit goals and achievement goals. So achievement goals have like a really clear ending point, but habit goals are more ongoing. And so I sometimes think, what's sort of my time trigger? So an example, if going to the gym is the example, maybe it's, I will go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, and Friday immediately when I leave work. So there's like a time trigger, like whatever time you leave work, that's what time you're headed to the gym if it's on those days. So I think there's a lot of different ways that this time-bound concept could apply to a goal, depending on what the goal is and depending on how you foresee needing to hold yourself accountable to it too. So that's fascinating to hear your examples, because they're a little bit different than the examples that I typically use. So that's fun. I bet there's a million different ways that you could use that time bound.
There's a ton of different ways to be able to do that. But like you said, every day at 3 o'clock. Actually, I do have that in one of the goals I'm going to share, because I have a word for the year, and my word for 2022 is habit. So I want to create sustainable habits in my life. And so that is an important part of some of my goals this year is to create those habits and have those be part of my goals.
Nice. Very cool. So sorry,
So
I
two
jumped
more.
in. We were on Timebound. Yeah, I jumped in and distracted you.
Yeah,
Two more.
yeah. No, no, no. That was perfect. That was perfect. So two more, and these two are the two that kind of Michael Hyatt added on. So it's smarter, not smart. So E is exciting. So you want your goals to be exciting, and you want them to motivate you, because if your goals aren't exciting, then you're not going to want to achieve them, right? So that is definitely a part, and anything that really excites you, whether it is running or whether it is caring for yourself or whatnot, whatever it is, you want to have that, just that butterfly feeling in your stomach, be like, yes, I really want to wake up in the morning and do this goal. And then the last one is relevant. You want to make your goals relevant. So again, my word for the year is habit. And so I have a number of habit goals that I want to achieve, and they are exciting to me and they are relevant to the word. So I have a couple of non-habit goals, which is fine, but overall it is something that you want to be relevant. I am a preacher, I am a musician, but I am not a car mechanic. So saying my goal this year is to flip 4 cars for profit is not something that I'm going to do, because it's not relevant to me. I am not going to be running any marathons this year. That wouldn't be a relevant goal. But there are plenty of other goals that are relevant to me and what I want to accomplish.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you so much for that overview. I think it's great for people who have never done any type of goal setting, because it gives you a structure. But if you have done goal setting before, either with the SMART framework or any other type of framework, or just kind of getting something down on paper or committing to something in your mind as a goal, the SMART-E.R framework is a great way to sort of up level your it's almost like a little quiz for your goals of, if you've set a goal, then you can ask yourself, is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it action oriented? Is it, risky? Is it time bound? Go through that process, especially the point that we're at right now. We're kind of just getting into the second quarter of the traditional calendar year. So if you've set second quarter goals, or even if you've set goals for 2022, it's not too late, to take your goals, kind of run them through this filter of the SMART-E.R framework that Joe just described, and see how do they fit into all of those, and is there a way you can make your stated goal even more powerful by using these tools and tips. So it's a powerful tool for sure.
It is. And one of the things that I absolutely love is in our planner, there is a section for us to kind of work through the SMART-E.R framework and go through in detail how we are going to make our goals smarter, and what are they going to look like? What are our motivations? What are the next steps for us to accomplish them? So it really just lays it out, and it helps us think through how to make our goals smarter, and really just kind of internalize them, so that it makes it even more, gives us a more opportunity to accomplish them.
Yeah. So Joe, a question I get a lot, and you probably do as well, is when we're sitting down to set goals for a time period, how many should we set, and how do you decide where the priority is? Like, if I'm trying to kind of whittle it down to a few or whatever, like how do we choose? That's something that I think is, there's a little bit of an answer that is official. So I'll let you give that, but then I kind of want to chat about it too, because I think it's really open to interpretation of how everyone handles that situation of, what if there's so many things I want to do? How do I choose what to really focus on? So I want to pick your brain about that for a minute.
Yeah. And I'm kind of breaking this rule for myself for this next quarter, and I can talk about why, but yeah. So the full focus system, the way that we were trained is you want to have 8 goals a year. And then that kind of breaks down to 2 to 3 per quarter. And that is so that you're not overwhelming yourself. You're not just taking too much on, so that then you are possibly going to fail. So that is sort of the mindset that we have been told and taught. And, like I said, I am breaking that this quarter, because there were 2 goals that I did not accomplish in the first quarter that I wanted to. One is totally on me, and it's something that I have been working on for a while, and just it's a sticking point for me. So I've kind of moved on to that into the second quarter. The other is somewhat out of my hands. I'm kind of relying on somebody else. I got everything done that I needed to get done, and in order to fully accomplish this goal, I am relying on somebody else. And once that comes through, then I'm going to accomplish it. So I kind of move that to second quarter, even though I don't have anything to do with it. I just want to be able to check it off. So other than that, I do have 3 other goals that I am working on for this quarter. So I'm kind of falling into that framework, but just, added a little bit more on.
Yeah. I think that it's interesting because I think that your reasons for having more goals this quarter make total sense. And I think that that's not going to cause an issue for you. Last quarter for me, my eyes were bigger than my stomach. And I thought, I don't know why I thought I was like Superwoman and could just ignore all of the good advice I've ever been given. And I set like 12 goals for myself.
Oh my goodness.
It was insane. I don't know what I was doing. And I failed, of course. Of course I did. It was about halfway through the quarter that I realized, like, okay, Stacie, what were you thinking? So I started paring it down and saying, okay, I'm letting this one go. I'm letting this one go. I'm letting this one go. And I'm just going to focus on these because I'm already making some traction there and I feel like I can do it. So this quarter, for quarter 2, I really only set 3, and not like last quarter I tried to cheat and I said, well, here's the 3 that I'm going to report out to my mastermind group on, like my main 3. And then here are all my other ones that I want to do just like on secret on the sly. So I played.
That's not good.
No, I made one of the worst mistakes. So this quarter, I really truly only have 3 and I am committed to it, but it's hard. It's hard to choose what your 3 would be.
It is.
Especially if you're someone who is traditionally sort of a high achiever or accustomed to kind of spinning a lot of plates at one time or managing a lot of different roles. And so it can be hard to really focus those down, but it's critical to do that so that you can focus your energies and your resources too. So I know we're getting close on time here, but we promised the people that we would share some of our goals with them. So let's do that quick and then we'll wrap up. The best advice, you all have probably seen advice to share your goals publicly, and that will help you be accountable and get them accomplished. The best advice these days, and what we would say, is to share your goals selectively with people who you know will be supportive. So Joe and I probably maybe won't share all of our goals with you because, sometimes it's better to keep those a little close at heart and share them with those that you absolutely know are going to be your cheerleaders, either in your 4 walls at home or in your close groups. So since this is a public platform, maybe we'll each share 1 or 2 of ours as examples. I'll tell you mine. I have a goal every year that I started last year, so this is a new thing for me, to read the number of books in my birthday year of how old I am. So like my age this year, from my birthday to my birthday, that's how many books I want to read. So by May 12th, which is my birthday, I have this stack behind me to complete. I have about somewhere between 10 and 12 left to go. So I'm going to be in hardcore reading mode for the next few weeks to be able to get that goal accomplished. And Joe, I know you had at least one prepared that you wanted to share as an example.
Yeah, I have two that I wanted to share. One is, so when I started on March 1st as sort of a Lenten discipline, it wasn't actually a goal for my first quarter, but it became a goal for my second quarter, is I started to close my rings on my Apple Watch every single day since March 1st of 2022. So I decided to make that a goal, and I am going to, I have it here, close my Apple Watch rings every day by 7:00 p.m. So that's another time-bound thing for the next 90 days. So it is a little bit of a risk for me to continue to do that every single day. For those who might not be familiar, the Apple Watch has 3 rings: a move ring, so it's active calories that you burn; exercise ring, and you say how much you want to exercise per day; and then a stand ring that you have to stand at least once an hour for the allotted number of hours. So I have 700 active calories to burn every day, 30 minutes of exercise, and stand 12 times throughout the day. People think that the stand goal is kind of silly and that it's easy to do. Let me tell you, it's not easy to do, especially someone who does a lot of work on the computer and reading and driving. And so sometimes I'm up until 11 o'clock at night doing that, which is why I said I want to accomplish it by 7:00 p.m. So I'm not up late doing it, that I do think about it and have this intentionality to accomplishing that. So that is something that I'm going to do for the next 90 days, is close those rings. And the other part of that is not part of my goals, but the other part of that is I post it on social media as accountability, because there are people that are looking out for it, and it makes me feel accountable and want to share that with others.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Love it. Yeah, that stand goal is hard. I'm impressed that you can get that stand goal every day. I don't wear an Apple Watch anymore, but I used to. And I always said it's misleading, because you think you just need to stand up for a minute, but that's not accurate. You really need to like walk 3 laps around the outside of your house for it to like really, like you have to get up and move for it to register it. Like even just walking to the restroom and back to your computer may not even make it count. You like gotta get yourself going.
Yes.
So it's not.
And yesterday was the first time that I had intentional exercise time. My wife and I went for a walk, and for some reason, either I didn't fully hit the button, or, the app crashed, which it usually doesn't. But I get to the house and I'm like, wait a minute, my app isn't going. That's counting my exercise. So that 30 minutes was just a waste of time. No, it was good to be able to do it. But then I had to go for another 30-minute walk, which is not a bad thing, right? It's not a bad thing. So I did that.
Oh, wow. Well, you're an overachiever for yesterday, then. That's bonus.
Right.
Bonus and extra. All right. So is there anything that we missed, Joe, that we wanted to talk about, or did we cover it all? I feel like we covered it.
I think, yeah, we covered it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I am excited that we were able to bring this topic out to the folks in my virtual cafe. And of course, Joe and I are both available if anyone has questions about this stuff or want to get connected up. I have my trainings and offerings on my business website, which is staciesimpsonconsulting.com/focus is where I have all this stuff. And Joe is available to you all as a coach. I mean, we talked about how it's so awesome that there are coaches with different styles and in different fields. So if you feel like you're connecting with Joe and you want to work with him in full focus coaching, I'm sure he would be happy to chat with you about what he has available. So Joe, feel free. Now's your commercial break moment to give everyone a little info about what you do, what you offer, where they can find more information, and stay connected with you in the future.
Yeah, thank you. So for Stacie, for your audience, I created a special PDF download that people can grab. It's entitled 5 Secrets to Create Smarter Goals. So I outline, the SMART-ER goal framework that we talked about, and just give 5 tips and tricks that people can utilize to create their SMART-ER goals, especially if you haven't done that before. So
awesome.
You can go to fullfocuscoach.com/goals, and there you can check out that PDF and be able to download that. The other thing that I have created and is my own podcast. And so that is fullfocuscoach.com/podcast. And you can go and download those episodes. I think I'm on episode 4. I do have a couple that I need to post, including one with a conversation I had with Stacie. So that is another resource that people can utilize to get more focus in their life and to be able to grow and achieve what they want to achieve.
Awesome. And I will put those links in the description of this video or audio, wherever you all are watching or listening. I'll make sure that the links are right there so that they're easy to click on too. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for those tools and a way for people to stay connected with you too. Joe, I so appreciate you being here for the episode, and I'm glad that we've connected on all this fun, nerdy, goal setting, productivity stuff, and looking forward to chatting with you again soon.
Yes, thank you so much.